Welcome to the Mind Spark, bringing you the latest news from around the world. A new titan is rising from the jungles of southern Mexico, a $50 billion waterway set to connect the Atlantic and Pacific. This is more than a construction project. It's a bold declaration that global trade is about to be rewritten. Financed by Chinese capital and built with Mexican labor, this mega canal aims to outclass the legendary Panama Canal. Imagine a channel vast enough for the world's largest ships, vessels that dwarf Panama's locks. The Tehuantepec Isthmus Interoceanic Corridor is more than a canal. It's a sprawling ecosystem of ports, rail lines, and industrial parks. For China, it's a critical piece of the Belt and Road Initiative, securing supply chains and projecting economic might into the Americas. By financing this venture, China gains a strategic foothold in the Western Hemisphere, challenging U.S. dominance over key trade routes. For global shippers, it could mean lower costs and faster delivery. For Mexico, it's a once-in-a-generation chance for economic transformation. But for the U.S. and Panama, it's a direct challenge. The project raises questions about environmental sustainability, sovereignty, and the balance of power. As excavators break ground, one thing is certain: the world's oceans, and the politics that govern them, will never be the same. The stakes are enormous, and the world is watching. The era of uncontested trade routes is ending. The dream of a Mexican canal is centuries old, but now with $50 billion in Chinese investment, it's becoming reality. The Isthmus of Tehuantepec, just 120 miles wide, offers a direct path between the Gulf and the Pacific. The new canal's mission to compete with and surpass the Panama Canal. Panama's canal, even after expansion, faces size and water constraints. The Mexican Canal is designed to be wider, deeper, and more reliable, handling mega ships Panama can't. For China, this is strategic hedging, diversifying shipping routes away from U.S.-influenced choke points. The canal is the spine of a new economic corridor, with deep-water ports at Salina Cruz and Coatzacoalcos, linked by rail. The vision: a seamless logistics platform, moving goods with unprecedented efficiency. This isn't just about transit. It's about transforming southern Mexico into a major industrial hub. Manufacturing and assembly plants are expected to follow, drawn by tax incentives and proximity to the U.S. market. The project is set to redefine the region's economic landscape. For global trade, it's a game changer. For Panama, it's a formidable new rival. The Tehuantepec Canal is a marvel of modern engineering. Unlike Panama's lock-heavy design, much of this canal will be at sea level, with a few colossal locks for the largest ships. These locks will handle ultra-large vessels, over 24,000 containers each. The channel will allow two-way traffic for these giants, eliminating bottlenecks. Construction is driven by automation. Fleets of autonomous earth movers, tunnel-boring machines, and drones feeding data to AI systems. Robotics and AI boost efficiency and safety, keeping the project on schedule. Once operational, the canal will be managed by a central AI command, optimizing ship transits and maintenance. Sensors throughout the infrastructure create a digital twin for real-time monitoring. Renewable energy powers the canal. Solar farms and electric machinery aim for a low-carbon corridor. The canal is purpose-built for the megamax ships of tomorrow, floating cities of commerce. By providing a direct, unobstructed path for these vessels, the canal aims to become the preferred route for high-volume trade. This is the future of shipping. Bigger, faster, greener. The Tehuantepec Canal is set to redefine global logistics. For Mexico, the canal is a historic opportunity for transformation. The government touts tens of thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of thousands more in logistics and manufacturing. Special economic zones along the route promise to attract multinational investment and trigger a manufacturing boom. The canal could boost Mexico's GDP by billions, elevating its global stature and influence. Hosting a critical shipping artery gives Mexico new leverage in trade and diplomacy. For a nation long in the shadow of its northern neighbor, the canal is a symbol of sovereignty and ambition. But the risks are real: massive debt, potential corruption, and social disruption. Indigenous communities face land disputes, and rapid development could increase crime. The influx of industry may strain local resources and deepen inequality. Mexico is betting big, balancing the promise of prosperity against profound social and financial challenges. The stakes are high, and the outcome is uncertain. Can Mexico seize this moment without losing control? The world is watching. For China, the Tehuantepec Canal is a geopolitical masterstroke. It anchors the Belt and Road Initiative in the Americas, extending China's reach to the U.S. doorstep. China's goals secure supply chains and reduce reliance on the U.S.-influenced Panama Canal. The new canal offers redundancy, ensuring Chinese goods reach the U.S. East Coast and Europe, even if Panama is disrupted. It's about de-risking global trade for the long term. The canal is also a symbol of China's growing influence, showcasing its ability to deliver transformative projects. This builds soft power in Latin America, where many nations seek investment without Western strings attached. The project deepens China's economic integration with Mexico and the region. It facilitates the flow of Latin American commodities to China and opens new markets for Chinese goods. The canal is more than a shipping lane, it's a channel for Chinese capital and influence. Regional trade patterns are shifting, pulling Latin America further into Beijing's orbit. The U.S. faces a new competitor in its own backyard. The balance of power is changing. The Tehuantepec Canal has sent geopolitical shockwaves worldwide. In Washington, it's seen as a direct challenge to U.S. dominance in the Americas. Policymakers worry about Chinese naval access and control over critical infrastructure. The canal signals America's waning influence in its traditional sphere. For many Latin American nations, it's a symbol of new options and a multipolar world. China's investment comes without the political strings of Western aid, giving countries leverage to balance global powers. The project could spark more China-led infrastructure deals across the continent. In Europe and Asia, the reaction is pragmatic. Businesses welcome competition and lower shipping costs. Panama faces an existential threat as its canal is the backbone of its economy. The new Mexican canal could siphon away lucrative traffic, forcing Panama to modernize and adapt. The rivalry between the two canals will define regional economics for years. Alliances are shifting, and the rules of the game are changing. The world is entering a new era of strategic competition. The canal's path cuts through one of the world's most biodiverse regions, rainforests, wetlands, and mangroves teeming with rare species. Environmentalists warn of massive deforestation, habitat loss, and threats to endangered wildlife. Diverting rivers and building reservoirs could devastate local water supplies and agriculture. Pollution from ships and industry poses risks to aquatic ecosystems and coastal reefs. Indigenous communities whose ancestral lands lie in the canal's path have mounted fierce resistance. They argue the project threatens their way of life and cultural heritage. Protests and legal challenges highlight deep social rifts. The conflict pits industrial development against environmental and cultural preservation. Project backers promise wildlife corridors, reforestation, and green technology. Critics remain skeptical, doubting that safeguards can offset the scale of damage. The central question: can economic rewards justify irreversible ecological costs? The stakes are not just economic, they're existential. The world must weigh progress against preservation. The Tehuantepec Canal marks a new era in global shipping, one of competition, innovation, and shifting power. For the first time in a century, shippers have a real choice in the Americas. Competition will drive down fees, spur innovation, and benefit consumers worldwide. The era of a single choke point is over. The canal's reliance on AI, automation, and green energy sets a new standard for infrastructure. Its success could inspire other mega projects from Thailand to the Arctic. Geopolitically, the canal cements a new axis between China and Latin America, forcing the U.S. to adapt. Alliances will be tested, and new trade agreements forged. The canal is more than a ditch. It's a pivot point in global affairs. Yet, questions remain. Can prosperity be achieved without ecological ruin? Will benefits be shared or concentrated? The Tehuantepec Canal is a monumental gamble on the future. The world watches, waits, and wonders what comes next.